Hello, everyone. I'm Pete Wright with LexJet, and I'm joined today by Moss Crawford. Moss is a senior product specialist at EPSON, and he is a product expert on the SureColor V1070, which we're going to be talking about. Moss, how are you doing today?
Doing great, Pete, and thank you for having me back here.
Moss, give me a quick overview of this beast of a machine that's behind you. And I say it's a beast. It's actually, for what it does, I remember seeing it at a conference in your booth and being struck by how small, how compact it is for what it's capable of. So it's a really great design. Talk to me a little bit about the SureColor V1070.
Sure. As you said, you know what? It is a beast, and it's a compact beast, right? So it's a tabletop flatbed printer. It's close to 8.5 by 14, so it's a great size, right? A4 is the actual size of it. So it's a European measurement for if you're not familiar with that. The color set is CMYK, white and varnish. So you can see the ink bay right here. So it's really convenient. Um, Simple to use. So many of the hands-on operations that are traditionally associated with a UV flatbed has been they've been automated. So the novice operator can feel comfortable working with this, and the experienced operator, well, you know what? He'll just appreciate the hands-free aspects.
Now, the V1070 is the first desktop flatbed UV printer in
Mhm.
the market. What is it that sets it apart from the rest of the competition?
Well, the varnish you can print and have it as gloss or matte, and it's using the same ink pack, so you don't have to exchange out the ink pack to do a gloss or a matte. Um, you can also create texture by using combinations of color, white, and varnish, kind of to build up and give texture to whatever you're printing. Also, by doing this, this gives you the ability to print ADA compliant Braille as well. Another key feature is that, no manual maintenance. So we use an automatic fabric wiper system, which is right here. So you don't have to get in there with your hands to do any wiping or cleaning.
So the ADA compliance and being able to do
Mhm.
Braille is pretty cool. And realistically speaking, the size of this machine is perfect for that because most of the places you're seeing Braille used are on small, like 5 inch by 7 inch type signs that are maybe by an entrance or by a switch or by something like that. So you don't need a big device to be able to do that type of signage, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Those types of signs fit really well in this.
So I want to talk a little bit about the ultrachrome UV inks in this. What about those inks can you tell me in terms of the type of quality and durability we're going to get?
Well, as with all Epson inks, right, they're formulated by our chemists, right? So we do this in-house. So the inks match the system. And this ensures stability within the hardware itself, right? Also ensuring that we use high quality, vibrant pigments that create the eye-catching color. So, this is just a part of Epson that everybody associates with Epson, right? Just bright, vibrant, accurate colors.
Now I'm looking at the device behind you there,
Mhm.
and I just wonder. I mean, I guess one of the first things that hits me is what are the limitations? What types of materials can we print on? I know one of my coworkers here is obsessed with this machine and can't wait to get her hands on it. And she's talked about back in the day, David Letterman used to have a segment called "Will It Float," where they'd have a tank of
Oh,
water and they'd buy random things and drop it in
yes.
the water to see if it would float. And she wants to do "Will it print?"
Yeah,
So that begs the question: what are the limitations? What can this device print on? What can it print on? What does
sure.
the new user need to know when they're buying this printer in terms of what they can do with it?
Well, that's a very exciting part of this printer here, right? So, of course, all the traditional materials like acrylic, coroplast, Centra, foam core, right? All of those print well in the printer, and then some of the not so traditional materials like wood, glass, ceramic, plastics, metal, stone. Heck, I've even printed on golf balls and wooden coasters using the V1070. So, however, I always say, you know what? Make sure you test first before you commit, right? So really, it's wide open. You can pretty much get as creative as you want, and pick different materials, test them, print on them. Yeah, it's just an open playing field.
Are there limitations in terms of like thickness or depth that they need to be
Um,
aware of?
Thickness, the printer can actually print up to 2.75 inches thick, right? So that's a great depth to work with. So that opens up for a lot of different objects. For instance, let's say if you wanted to print on a small gift box on the lid, you could do that inside the V1070. So I would say that there are fewer limitations and more possibilities.
So, what kind of applications are you seeing this for? I mean, what are some of the popular things that you could see this machine being used for out in the world?
Well, I mean, obviously signage, right? That comes to mind. We talked about ADA compliant type signs, but there's a whole avenue of small signage that's used in business every day, right? Whether it's in hotels or just a regular traditional business. But customizing and personalizing promotional items is really big as well. So doing awards and plaques. Um, Pens, ornaments, and signs for special occasions. All I've seen all of those things.
Yeah, I didn't even think about awards. I would imagine you can print on clear acrylic, correct?
You can.
So
So
you take clear acrylic, and all of a sudden you're putting. I think most of what we're used to when we think of awards, especially acrylic awards, are laser etched or laser engraved. But this really gives you a whole new ballpark of being able to do colors and raised lettering and things like that. So it kind of takes the idea of awards to the next level.
exactly. If you're doing awards currently, you can kind of level up using the V1070.
Now, are there any creative ways that you've heard of people incorporating this into their businesses?
Well, I've seen people use the V70 in their business to expand their offerings. So let's say, just like you mentioned right now, let's say if they were printing pictures or portraits on canvas, now they're able to offer those same pictures and portraits on acrylic or glass, even, right? So they're able to expand their offerings. There are people who are creating decorative signs and ornaments for different occasions, maybe seasons, birthdays, anniversaries, those types of things. So yeah, just a lot of creativity out there.
So, who's the ideal customer for this? Is this like a hobbyist? Is this a small business? Is it possible for some level of production business? Who are we looking at for this?
Yeah, I think this is a great fit for many different types of businesses, right? So the printer is extremely versatile. I mean, footprint's great. The capabilities are all there. So it's an opportunity for businesses to add to the product lines that they're offering currently and their decorating capabilities. I think it's a great fit for the pro maker as well, right? So when I say pro maker, I mean like the people who are on platforms like Etsy that are offering decorated, personalized products on that platform, right? So I think it's everything from a business who wants to expand and grow to somebody who maybe is starting the popular term is side hustle, right? And they want to offer a new product on one of those online platforms.
Now, talk to me a little bit about the white ink and the varnish in terms of how that really steps up the game with this printer.
Well, obviously with the white ink, you're able to print on, different types of surfaces. So clear, colored surfaces, right? So you can actually back that color up in white, so you don't get color shift because of the material or substrate. And obviously UV ink, this opens up different possibilities for materials as well. So a wide variety of surfaces to print on. The varnish, it gives you that extra pop. I mentioned that, you can do gloss or you can do matte and it could be a spot, right? Or it could be a total flood. So this really helps to bring attention to detail when you make use of that.
Fantastic. And I know we talked about the idea of doing the awards on the acrylic. And I guess when you look at being able to do things on the acrylic with that white backing,
Hmm.
you could even look at doing backlit applications, almost like you're printing your own stained glass or something like that. You put a light behind it.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's just so many
Yeah.
creative ideas with it. I'm kind of excited about getting my hands on the device and trying some things as well in terms of what you can do, what you can't do. I
Hmm.
mean, it's just
Yeah.
it's
I'm kind of spoiled. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm kind of spoiled here, right? Because every day when I have some extra time, I can actually play around with my own ideas, right? And kind of get explore that creativity from my perspective as well. So
Talk to me a little bit about how user friendly this is. I mean, is there a heavy learning curve to this? Is this going to be one of those devices that's plug and play? Talk to me about just the process of getting started with this and the setup.
sure, really, it was designed for both the novice and the experienced operator, right? So, once you get this, it takes about 90 minutes after to unbox it, ink it up, get it ready to go. So that's kind of the physical hardware part of it. The learning curve, you can be printing, I would say, within the first hour after that, right? So it comes with Epson Edge as the RIP, right? So Epson Edge has always been designed to be user friendly, but it does gives the novice all the basic controls that he needs to get a job started and done. But it also has advanced features as well. So an expert can get in there and manipulate color and layer capabilities. We've really tried to make this as easy as possible, and offering as many opportunities and options as we can, right? So you can be as simple as you want, you can be as complex as you can get.
Well, I want to say we have a pretty spectacular video team here. I'm always impressed with the things they're doing, and they actually put together a great unboxing and setup video on this.
Oh,
So you'll be
great.
able to check our YouTube channel and see the entire process from the minute the box is open to just everything that's involved in setup. And it's probably one of the better videos that I've seen us produce. They're great, but this one was really
Yeah.
impressive. So it's a very helpful tool that will be available for
Yeah.
anybody on YouTube that's jumping into one of these machines.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. I'm gonna have to
So
check that out myself.
absolutely, we'll send you the link. So I guess want to wrap up just with you've got the machine, you know what you want to do with it, you have your plans for your application, you've got everything set up. Once you're up and running, what type of maintenance are we looking at? Is this one of those things where, man, I got to do this thing every single day before I can use it, or I got to do that? Or is it a pretty simple machine to deal with
Yeah.
from a maintenance standpoint?
Well, we've learned through the years, right? Most most of our printers, in fact, I would say that all of our printers require very little maintenance. However, even with that, right, we know that production days can be long, and at the end of that day, it's probably the last thing an operator wants to do is spend 20 minutes cleaning, right? Usually you just want to wrap it up and go home. So we've realized that. So again, we've automated the cleaning process, right, for the V1070. So um, I mentioned about the fabric wiper that's in there. So that takes care of the print head, right? So there's no need to get in there and manually wipe or scrub the print head, right? So no need to get your hands dirty doing that. It's automated, just simple touch of the button and you can walk away from it. There are two air filters that are located inside the print area in here, one on the side, one towards the back. Those need to be changed about every 6 months or so. In addition to that, if on a daily basis, if you see any debris or dust, things like that, they're within the print area, obviously, right? Just as with any piece of equipment, you just want to vacuum those out or remove those, right? And really, that's it. That's all the maintenance on a daily basis. So it's very little.
So super easy.
Super
That's
easy.
fantastic.
Super easy.
So, Moss, the maintenance on this sounds pretty spectacular. I mean, that's what you want. You want to buy a device that's easy to set up, easy to run, and easy to maintain. So you're spending more time operating, less time taking care of fixing, repairing, and things like that. One of the things that I didn't touch heavily on, if I buy this machine, from a running it standpoint, what am I looking at in terms of a curing time? Is this one of those things where, all right, I've got this UV printer, I can print these really cool things, Braille or awards or golf balls or whatever it is, but am I printing it and then I got to sit and let it, dry or cure for a certain amount of time, or is it one of those things where I can pull it off and it's ready to use and touch right away?
Yeah, well, it's a great question. This is UV ink, so it cures using UV light. So we actually have LED curing lamps that are on the print head. So it's actually printing and curing at the same time, essentially, with every pass that it makes. So once you're done printing, you can actually take the piece out, touch the ink. It's dry. It won't come off on your hands or clothing or anything like that. Essentially, it's ready to go at that point.
Fantastic. Moss, I can't think of anything else to ask you. Is there anything else you need to tell us about the device?
Other than, what, we're really excited about this because it is our very first flatbed desktop printer. So, as Epson says, it's compact, it's precise, it's efficient. We look forward to a lot of people taking this and getting creative with it. We just can't wait to see what the possibilities are. I mean, we've explored some inside our laboratories and our demo center. We'd love to hear feedback from the actual users eventually. So.
Well, it's exciting to me because you guys keep changing the rules. It seems like every time I think you've done everything, all of a sudden, hey, we got this new device coming. It's like, what? So it's always exciting to me when I see something like this to wonder, okay, what's next? What's up your sleeve next?
Yeah.
Even if it's a redesign of an old model, it's like, okay, it's not just a refresh. There's new technology in there that makes it even better. And this is just a brand new device. So seeing something brand new to the market like this, really, really cool and exciting to see. And like I said, I can't wait to have my opportunity to step over to our experience center here and try printing on, well, like I said, see if it will print. Will it print? So, Moss, thanks so much. It's always exciting to see the new technology you guys introduce. To me, it just seems like you guys are constantly raising the bar, introducing new products. Every time I think you've kind of reached your peak, you come out with something brand new that's exciting and makes me want to go over to our experience center and see if it will print. So thanks for giving me some time today. If you have any questions about the EPSON SureColor V1070 or any other Epson products that we have, give us a call at 800-4LexJet. And for all of your printer supply needs, check us out at LexJet.com.